Hi friends, let us try to understand how to plot this graph. Y equals 1 by 2 sine of pi x minus pi plus 1 by 2. Let us try to generally understand how to plot this kind of trigonometric graphs. Okay, let us start with sine x. We know sine x graph. Very simple. Sine x graph is something like this, right? It starts with 0, 0, if this is 0, and this is 2 pi, this is pi, this is pi by 2, and this is d pi by 2. Okay, it runs from max 1, this is 1, and this is minus 1. Okay, it it goes between minus 1 to minus 1. Okay, and it repeats itself. What is the and this part, this this part will repeat itself. This entire part, right? And what is the length of this part? From here, this is 0, 0 to 2 pi. Okay, so the 2 pi we call this as period. After every 2 pi, the graph repeats itself. Okay, it goes like this. This is 2 pi. Again, it goes like this, which is again 2 pi. Again, it goes like this, likewise. Okay, this is our sine graph. Now, very simply, first let us understand this thing. Sine 2 pi, let's say, if we one the transformation of graphs involves one is shifting of graphs, that is vertically or horizontally. Similarly, stretching of graphs, that is again vertically or horizontal. Okay, shifting and stretching. Okay, so now if you can clearly see, this graph is actually shifted upwards. Okay, this is actually shifted upwards. This 1 has become 3, right? This point is actually 3. This is 1 and this is 3. Basically, this graph, this 0 has shifted to 1. Sorry, this 0 has shifted to this point, which is 2. This is 2, right? So this graph was like this. Just observe this part. This part has become this part. Okay, this part has become this part. Okay, so 0, which was 0, it was shifted 2 units. So what is this graph? First, the green graph. This is sine x. This is sine x plus 2. This is sine x plus 2. Okay. Every point in this graph is shifted by 2 units upwards. So that's why it is sine x by 2. So this unit, this was minus 1, and this has become plus 1. So minus 1 plus 2. Similarly, this was 1. This has become 3. 1 plus 2. Okay. This was 0. It has become 2. Okay. 0 has become 2. 0 has become 2. So every point in the graph is shifted 2 units upwards. So that's why it is sine x plus 2. Okay. If a function f of x we have, f of x plus 2 means the graph is shifted upwards. F of x minus 2 means the graph is shifted downwards. Okay. Shifting upwards. Then here if you see again the same sine graph. Again the same green sine graph. This is shifted rightwards. This is shifted rightwards. Okay, this is shifted like this. Okay, this point is shifted to here. Okay, this point is shifted to here. This point is shifted here. Whatever. Likewise, this is shifted here. This point is shifted here. Likewise. So if you see this graph, this entire graph, this point is shifted here. So what is our sine graph? This is 0. This is pi by 2. This is pi, 3 pi by 2, and 2 pi. Okay, this graph is shifted pi by 2 units towards right side. Okay, so the first graph, this green graph is sine x. This graph is sine of x minus pi by 2. Okay, again, if you have function f of x f of x minus pi by 2 or something means this function, this graph is shifted pi by 2 units towards right side. F of x minus 2 means this is shifted 2 units towards right. Right. So for example, this one is pi by 2, right? This point is pi by 2, where it is reaching maximum of 1. Okay. So this graph is shifted pi by 2 units. So what was 0 here is 0 here, which is pi by 2 units. What is 1 here is 1 here. Okay. So the distance between this and this is actually pi by 2. See, the graph is shifting horizontally. Horizontally. This graph is shifted horizontally. Okay. Here, the same graph is shifted vertically. So, for horizontal shift, f of x versus f of x minus some constant. Vertical shift is f of x versus f of x plus constant. Okay. Very good. This is vertical shift and this is horizontal shift. This is about shifting. Now, there is something about stretching. If you see, now let us take this case. This case, again this graph, okay, from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, this piece is taking 0 to 2 pi. Okay, the length of this is 2 pi. Now, in this 2 pi, this is pi, right? Now, this graph is actually finishing it in pi. Okay, this is pi and this is another pi. Okay, that means this graph is compressed by 2 times. Okay, what in the initial time period, in the initial period of 2 pi, earlier there was only one complete set. Now there are two complete sets. Okay, this is one and this is the second one. Okay, so basically, so for example, in this one, 0 to pi, one complete set is done, and pi to 2 pi, another complete set is done. What does this mean? This means the graph is compressed 2 times. If there were 3 complete sets in 0 to 2 pi, that means graph is compressed 3 times. Okay, if it is something like this, 1, 2, then 3, then it means it is compressed 3 times. Okay, or if it is compressed 4 times, means there will be 4 sets within the same period. Okay, so what does that mean? The period of the first graph, the sine x graph, is actually 2 pi. We know that. Now, if it is compressed 2 times, what does that mean? The period is becoming pi, right? Half of it, right? So, if it is compressed and period, okay? If it is compressed by 2 times, period is becoming pi. If it is compressed 4 times, period will become 4 by 2. If it is compressed only once, that means there is no compression. Then period is 2 pi. If it's compressed n times, what does that mean? Period is 2 pi by n. Okay. So now same automatically. What does this also mean? If the period is p, what does that mean? It is compressed 2 pi by p times. Okay. If the period is p, that means it is compressed 2 pi by p times. If it is compressed n times, that means period is 2 pi by n. Very good. This is about compression. Okay. This is compression or stretching also. So for example, instead of 2 pi, it has become 1 by 2 pi. Then this graph would have stretched. For example, this is sine 2x graph. This graph is sine 2x. The green graph is sine x. Okay. What will sine half x look like? Sine half x will look like the stretching of the green graph like this. It will be very much stretched. That means this entire cycle would be taking 4 pi period instead of 2 pi period. Within 2 pi, you would have finished only half. In another 2 pi, you would have finished another half. That is stretching. Okay. Compression or stretching is related to whether we call sine 2x or sine half x. Okay. Okay. So what does that mean? If f of x is there, then f of cx is compression slash stretch basis whether c is greater than 1 or lesser than 1. Okay, this is very good. Now, this is horizontal compression or stretching. Similarly, vertical compression or vertical stretching. See, look at this graph. It's again going from, again sin x, going from 0 to 2 pi, and the highest is 1, lowest is minus 1. Now, this entire graph is multiplied 2 times. Okay. So now highest is going to 2, lowest is going to minus 2. Okay. Same time period. The same period. Period is 0 to 2 pi only. Okay. Just that the maximum, this graph is stretched upwards. Okay. Now stretched upwards means f of x is multiplied 2 times. Okay. That's why it is stretched upwards by 2 times. Okay. Similarly, if it is compressed, instead of this, it was compressed like this. Then it means half of x. Okay, half of f of x. Instead of two times f of x, it can be half of f of x. Okay, basically a factor into c into f of x. That again c greater than 1 or c less than 1. That depends on how much it is stretched or how much it is compressed. What that automatically means is if c is minus 1, okay, minus of f of x. What does that mean? The graph is actually reversed. Okay, if this is sin x minus of sin x will become like this. Okay, whatever positive will become negative, whatever negative will become positive. Okay, this is also a form of vertical compression. Okay, this is compressed to push it this side. Okay, minus of f of x is this. Okay, so now we have understood shifting of graphs vertically and horizontally, and stretching of graphs vertically and horizontally. This is vertical stretching, this is horizontal stretching. Stretching means stretching or compression. Okay, let us summarize whatever we have decided. Okay, if we take the, please remember this formula. Okay, this derivation, we start with sin x. Okay, we start with sin x. A sin x means the maximum will become a, or the maximum will become, minimum will become minus a. Okay, sin x plus d, sin x plus d. That means this graph is shifted d units upwards. Okay, sin x minus plus d. Okay, whatever this graph, this is d units, it is plus d, right? Plus d means it is d units shifted upwards. Okay, now if you see, we have already discussed that if 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 it is stretched n times, then that means the period is 2 pi by n. And if the period is p, then that means it is stretched 2 pi by p times. Okay, okay, that's what we are doing here. If it is 2 pi by b, that means what? The period is actually b, from here to here, or from here to here, anything, this to this. Okay, that is period b, or from here to here, that is also period b. Okay, for the complete cycle, how long it is taking. Okay, so that's why 2 pi by b, sine 2 pi by b, sine 2 pi by bx. What does that mean? If b is 2 pi, if b is 2 pi, that means it becomes sin x. Sin x period is 2 pi. If b is 2 pi, that means it is sin x, which is what? The period is 2 pi. Okay, then that means 2 pi by pi, it is stretched only once. Let's say if b is pi, if b is period is pi, what does that mean? 2 pi by pi, this means the graph is sine 2x. What does that mean? The graph is compressed 2 times, right? That is what we have already discussed. Okay, so this is the general formula for a transformation of sine graph. We can use this for cos also, others also. For cos also we can use this. Okay, because the period of cos is also periodic function with period 2 pi. Okay, now what does that mean here? Here, here D is the vertical shift. Okay, this graph is shifted how much vertically, and C is the horizontal shift, x minus C. This graph is shifted how much horizontally. Okay, how much? Horizontally. Okay, that is C. Now B is the period. B is this length at which this graph repeats. And A is this stretch, highest and lowest point. This highest and this lowest one. For a sine graph, it would be 1 for a sine graph normal. But if you are multiplying with A, that means the highest point will become A, not 1. So from here to here, if this is 0, then this becomes A. Okay, that is called amplitude. Similarly, this becomes minus A. Okay, so if we had shifted this one to D, then this becomes obviously highest point D plus A. The lowest point will become D minus A. Okay, let us use this methodology and derive this for this one. Okay, y equal to sine half sine pi x minus pi plus half. Okay, we want to convert everything in this format. A sine 2 pi by b. We want to A sine 2 pi by b into x minus c plus d. Here what is A? A is half. Okay, and we have to convert this sine pi x minus pi. What does that mean? Sine pi into x minus 1 plus half. Okay, we are slightly converting this into this format. Okay, this is sine pi into x minus 2. What does that mean? What is b? If you write this, sine pi means sine 2 pi by 2 into x minus 1. Okay, plus half. So this equation we can write it like this, right? Pi we can write it as 2 pi by 2. What does that mean? Now b is equal to 2. B equal to 2. 2 pi by b. It is in the form as 2 pi by 2. Okay, b equal to d, 2, and c equals 1 and d equals half. Okay, c equals 1 and d equals half. Now, what does that mean? B equals 2. That means, let's start with a normal sine graph. Normal sine graph is this one. From here to here, it is actually 2 pi. Okay, this is 2 pi and this is pi. Okay, now for our graph, it is the time period is actually 2. What does that mean? The period is 2. What does that mean? For our graph, this point is 2, this point is 1, this point is 0. Okay, we are we are not worried about A, C, and D for now. We started with B. Okay, when B equals 2, that means this is the graph. Okay, this point is 1, this point is minus 1. Okay, now A equals half. That means this graph is compressed vertically. Okay, compressed vertically, it is not stretched. If it is 1 means it is same. If it is 2 means it is stretched upwards. If it is half means it is compressed. So that means the graph is actually like this somewhere. Okay, the graph is like this, 0, and this is 1, this is 2, and this is half, and this is minus half. Okay, the highest point is half, not 1, because it is compressed half. So we are considered A comma B here. When we consider A and B, we are able to draw the graph like this. Okay, with this means C equals 0, D equals 0 till this point. Okay, so we have accommodated B. B is the time period. Time period is, so B is the period. Period means 2. So that means the graph is repeating between 0 and 2. Right, the graph is repeating. The graph will repeat the cycle after every 2 units. So it will grow like this. That means from 2 to 4, then 4 to 6, likewise. Backward also it will repeat like this. Okay, so and the graph is compressed a half time. Compressed, it is compressed. So multiplied by half means it is compressed. It was 1 and all the 1, the highest and lowest has become plus half and minus half. Now what is C? C is 1. That means this graph is shifted 1 unit towards the right side. Okay, so here we are, 0, 1 and 2. If this graph is shifted 1 unit towards right side, what does that mean? This point will come here. Okay, so it becomes like this. Okay, so this becomes 1, this becomes 2, this becomes 3. Okay, okay, so and this will keep repeating like this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and it will go like this. 3, 4, 5, it will go like this. Okay, and still it is minus half and this is plus half. Okay, we have accommodated C also. Now what is D? everything is shifted upwards half unit. Okay, we have this graph. We have this graph. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and plus half and minus half are the limits. Now this entire graph is shifted half units upwards. That means this was whatever minus half, this becomes 0, right? And whatever plus half, this becomes 1. So what does that mean? The graph will become from 1. Okay, from 1 it becomes like this: 1, 2, 3, and this minus half, whatever this minus half, it will become 0, 0, and the highest point is 1, and this point is half. Okay, that is finally this graph. Okay, we start with 1. From 1, okay, from 1, this distance is actually half. Okay, so it is half. This distance is half, and this distance is also half. Okay, the cycle is repeating in 2 units. Okay, that is this period B. B is 2. That means from here to here, it is actually 2 units. 1, 2, 3. Okay, B is 2. Then A is half. A is half. What does that mean? The highest point is 2 units. The highest point and lowest are plus half and minus half. Okay, from this point, this is the sign which was originally 1 has become half. Okay, if this is 0, then this is half and this is 1. That means the highest point is half units and the lowest is also half units. Okay, now C equals 1. That means this graph, it is shifted 1 unit here. Otherwise, the graph would have been here. It would have started from 0 from here. It has shifted 1 unit. That is C. D is half. That means it is shifted upwards half unit. Okay, that's where we have started. We have started with the normal sine curve. Then we applied B. B means time period. So normal sine curve, we adjusted it to the time, we adjusted to the period, that is 0 to 2. Okay. Then we applied half also. Okay. Then we applied half. Half means it is compressed. Okay. We applied B first, then A second. Then we have adjusted for C, that is horizontal shift. Horizontal shift 1 unit towards the right side. Okay. That became like this. After that, then we did the vertical shift half unit upwards. So basically, we are done stretching first and shifting second. You can do the other way also. Okay. Basically, we just need to worry about stretching and shifting. And this is a general equation. General equation, please remember, this is very important. A sine 2 pi by b into x minus c plus d. Here, b is the time period. That means the cycle. B is the period. This is called distance. The cycle at which this graph repeats itself. Okay. A is vertical stretch or vertical compression, and C is horizontal shift. D is a vertical shift. Okay. B is the period, that is this one, which automatically means it is horizontal compression or horizontal stretch. Okay, guys. Hope you understood this. It's a very nice way how to draw the graphs. Okay, this is how we draw the graphs of general sine curves. Thank you, guys.